Next, we have a special presentation from Nina Livingstone. Nina is a journalist and a spoken word artist, but she also happens to be deaf and blind. And she offers a unique perspective of the world through her professional work as a journalist, an award-winning public speaker, and a comedian. She does all of this despite the fact that she lost her sight in the year 2000. She brings her life on stage as a regular on NPR Moth, and so I'm going to get out of the way and let her come and share in her own unique way, Nina Livingstone.
Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor to be here. I was born with, I have a little outline here, but this is good because the last time I was in a speaking engagement, I had a grocery list. I was saying kale crunch, and I was, oh my gosh, I was looking at my nose. But I was born with Usher syndrome, which is a hereditary disease that causes total blindness and deafness. I was diagnosed with it at 13 years old. However, in the 60s, I was born with moderate to severe hearing loss in both ears, and I was fitted with hearing aids in both ears in the first grade. And so I relied heavily on lip reading, and I had sight then, so lip reading was fabulous. And my parents arranged to have a speech therapist. My brother and I had the same thing, and we both saw this great speech therapist who was animated, funny, and very engaging, and he worked with our speech through art and craft. So one day my mother said, so how's the speech therapy going? I said, well, today we worked with a lot of color, a lot of paper, with a lot of glitter. And she said, I'm a little worried. There's a little accent here. And I said, oh, we love him. I want him. He's great. We proceeded with this speech therapy, and I still have an accent. And I'm proud of it. There was a period when I was in college, I went to the bank. I was standing in line, and I had to watch for visual cues. And I could see this woman waving, so I walked up to the bank teller. She said something, and I said, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Can you say it again? I lip read. And she said it again. I said, I'm sorry, can you say it again? I can't. So she said, you have $12.90 in your checking, $7 in your savings. Do you want to withdraw? I was horrified, and I said, it's okay. I'm going to withdraw. Bye. So in the year 2000, I lost my sight and hearing completely because of the Usher syndrome, but also because of the a condition called Meniere's, an inner ear disorder that causes vertigo, nausea, and head noise. And because of the symptoms, I lost the rest of my remaining hearing. And I had to, it was a challenging time because I had it happened all at once in one day, and I was dealing with the symptoms every single day and night for a year and 4 months. And during that time, I realized it was giving up New York Times, giving up the publications, so forth, computers, all the visual things that I was used to. And this was the time when I decided to teach myself Braille, and I read To the Lighthouse by Virginia Woolf. It took me 6 months to learn the Braille reading this novel. I wouldn't recommend it in Braille. And then after that, I started reading voraciously, and I had one of my volunteers bring books to me, and that was great. And one of the most important books at that time was reading The Diary of Anne Frank, in which she talked about a sliver of light as shown through the window in the attic. And one thing I realized, what struck me about this towards the end of that long journey of being in bed every day and dealing with the vertigo and so forth, was that they couldn't open their window. And I realized that I could. And then I could go out there, break away from the isolation, from the darkness, from the deafness, from the feeling of claustrophobia that I had, to a whole world out there. And so moving forward, on March 1st, 2001, at 11 o'clock, can't forget, I had the cochlear implant surgery in one ear. I didn't do it the other ear. I figured, one thing at a time. So I had this ear, and I have, so as a result, everything opened up. This was a great, and continues to be a great decade, years of technology. My first phone call, I was totally ecstatic. I called for information, and it was my first time using a phone after like a year and 5 months, 4 months. I said, I am calling to see if I can, I don't know, maybe order a pizza or something. And I said to the operator, I said, I just have a cochlear implant. I'm so excited. And she said, I had a breast implant. I mean, this is 20 years ago, and I said, really? I said, that's fantastic. I said, I'm sure you're hearing well. And so I say all this with, there's no, for all the limitations, deafness, blindness, and we all have invisible and visible disabilities, there's always unlimited humor. And life is next.